I'm so happy to see you today. It is She Got Faith, founder of Healing She Got Faith. I just want to take a quick minute of your time and just explain to you what you're about to watch. So, before COVID-19 hit and before the world saw George Floyd get murdered, Healing She Got Faith had actually planned on releasing a new segment called Grief Beyond Death, which Grief Beyond Death is simply discusses the different ways that us humans grieve that are outside of death, because oftentimes we associate grief with death. And so we wanted to interview people in real time with real life events, and we wanted to put that real life experience out there. So our first interview for Grief Beyond Death was actually with a nonprofit in St. Louis, Missouri, where they wanted to discuss how COVID-19 has affected their jobs, has affected their life. So we actually have an interview with 2 staff members of a nonprofit organization as well as a graduating senior. They still wanted to meet and have the interview that would be released today. And so I'm very grateful for that. But we had to talk about what was going on. The murder of George Floyd has taken over the world. We are in the middle of a global pandemic as well as a revolution. And I just want to say, as a founder at Healing She Got Faith, we will never ignore the injustices. We will always fight for the injustices. We will always stand with our community. This program, this organization is built off of community and is built for our community. So we will never ignore that. We stand with Black Lives Matter. We stand with every person who has lost their life to police brutality. We stand with every person who has lost their life in general. This whole program is based off of grief. We will stand with you, your family members, and everybody else around you, and that's no questions asked. With that being said, this interview, well, it's an interview style, let me say that. This video is a lot different than what you're used to seeing from me. So you're used to seeing me come and talk. I had the honor of bringing someone who just so happens to be my big sister, who is the founder and CEO of Moving Sky and VASatyourservice. For those of you who don't know, I am the president of VASatyourservice, which is another business that I am part of. It's a virtual assistant program where we help people basically organize their life and invest in them and pour into them. So my big sister and I currently have a scholarship going for community members for the month of June. Every week we pick somebody. If you are interested in that, we have a Google form. You just reach out to me. I will send it right over to you. You fill it out. Every week we pick somebody, we contact you, and so that's for the whole month of June. The whole month of June is actually dedicated to anybody who was affected by COVID-19, particularly students of any kind. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. Outside of that, what you're about to watch is the interview that my sister and I had the opportunity to talk with 2 staff members of a nonprofit and one of their graduating seniors. We really wanted to discuss how COVID-19 had changed and rocked their life, but again, we can't ignore the murder of George Floyd. So as an organization, as a founder, I could not ignore that. So the conversation went towards that. We hope that you get to watch this and you get to see the effects that it has on our young people, as well as our community members, our community activists, our people working in the nonprofit sector. So I hope you enjoy it. I miss you guys. I was not here last Sunday. It was too much going on. I had to get my thoughts together. I had to figure out what was the best way to serve my followers. And so I really wanted to just take a breather. I wanted to love me the way I love the world, but I also wanted to be there for my community. So I was outside protesting I was looking at different things I could do, different petitions I could sign. I was doing some research on my new area. I just wanted to be able to fully serve my followers and fully serve my community. That was what was most important. So last week I did take a break. I do apologize for that. But I'm back this week and I will be back for as long as I'm allowed to be back. So I hope you guys really enjoy this interview. We will be having more videos with Grief Beyond Death. Honestly, the month of June, all the videos will probably be Grief Beyond Death videos. So just be prepared for that. It's interview style. We hope you take a lot away from it. So I miss you guys. I love you guys. Remember to love you the way you love the world. But with everything going on, make sure you're getting out into your community and make sure you're serving. Take care of yourself. Have self-care. But make sure you're serving your community. I highly encourage that. But I also highly encourage self-care. So find that balance. Please, if you need help, join us on Healing She Got Faith in the members section. We have some new conversations going, so check in with that. If you need a community to look in, remember we have the scholarship going. So I am so happy to see you guys. I cannot wait to see you guys next Sunday. I love you guys. I'm here for you guys. And just remember, Healing She Got Faith. It does stand with Black Lives Matter, and we will continue to fight the injustices in this world. See you guys next Sunday. All right. So, welcome to Healing She Got Faith. This is the founder, She Got Faith, or Lily Nolan, as some of you guys know me as. I'm excited to be here with you today because we are introducing a new segment called Grief is Beyond Death. And today I have the honor of having my big sister, as well as the CEO of VASatyourservice and Mo Green Sky here, as well as we have a nonprofit from St. Louis, Missouri with their staff as well as their student who will be checking in with us today. So we have some very exciting things to talk about, and we are gonna hit the ground running with these conversations. So I would like everybody to introduce themselves. Laura, let's start with you. You can go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Hello, I'm Laura Washington. I am the CEO and founder of VAS at Your Service, which is Virtual Assistant Services, and we love to be at your service. Right now, we are offering free service for everyone due to the pandemic. We just want to help people. So any way we can help, either on a business level or on a personal level. And we also launched a new program for the month of June where we are helping any students, no matter what level you're in. So you can be in high school, college, in a certification program. You can be going to a school like Rankin, any type of nursing program, any type of education that you were in and you were affected by COVID-19. We want to help. So we are asking those students to reach out to us at lisa@vasatyourservice.com. And we are choosing a winner once a week that will win a monetary scholarship or giveaway, depending on their needs. And then at the end of the month, we will pick someone with a little bit larger monetary gift or scholarship. So we're very excited about that. Healing She Got Faith and VAS has teamed up because we're just very passionate about helping people. And if we're able to help, we want to. So I'm excited to be here and speak with everybody. And
Okay, so during this pandemic, it has been a very difficult time dealing with life in general. I think all of us can agree on that, right?
Yes.
So as Miss Laura has said, we are starting off with the dedication to anybody who has been affected by COVID-19. So the month of June, Vast at Your Service and Healing Our Faith, we're dedicating our services, time, love, energy, all of that to those people who are affected. I want to specifically discuss grieving those who missed out on their senior year, right? So grief, we often correlate it to death, which it does. However, our seniors, our college students, people who are in the educational program are grieving what they had planned to do their whole life. So that's prom, homecoming, senior pictures, graduation. So we're grieving it. So today we want to bring that to light, as well as our nonprofit workers. Like, how do we feel about not being called essential workers? How do we feel about giving our whole entire life to a community, and this society has the audacity to tell us that we're not that important? So today we're gonna talk about it, right? But also too, our society is going crazy. So we gotta talk about George Floyd. We have to talk about it because we're working with kids who they are believing they might be the next hashtag. So we're gonna talk about it today, and we're gonna put it to the forefront. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't care about feelings. If we make anybody uncomfortable today, that's not my problem, because we're gonna talk about it. So I'm just putting that. So just so y'all know, as y'all host, as the CEO and founder of Healing She Got Faith, I don't care. We putting it out there, right? So with that being said, I would like my guests to introduce themselves. You guys can pick and choose who wants to go first. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, your title, and what you want us to know about you. So whoever want to go.
I can go first.
Ladies first.
Yeah. My name is KaCheena Lucas. I am a social worker and education advisor with HEC Upward Bound. Outside of that, I'm really just like a social worker. Like, I live, breathe, eat everything social worker. So you saying we're going to talk about George Floyd, I'm happy, because that can't go unnoticed. We can't sit and talk about COVID-19 and not talk about how our Black men and sisters are getting killed in the streets, like on camera. Like, we're seeing this every day, to every year, every couple of months. It's just happening and happening. It's like, I'm tired of talking about it. I'm ready for something to be done. Right. Justice needs to be served. Justice has been served a long time ago.
Definitely.
And that's all. That's all. I'm like, that's all. That's really what's on my mind right now. And that's really what's on my heart. So I'm glad that we're going to have the space to have some conversation about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to go next.
Okay. Well, I'm Jalea Scoot. I'll be an incoming freshman at Rockhurst University. And also I'm just
next
Upward Bound, HEC. I would say, as far as COVID-19, I'm kind of over it at this point. Once I learned about all my senior activities being canceled, I was kind of over everything at that point, because I waited 4 years to celebrate all of my accomplishments. And as far as like everything that's going on now, with all the situations with George Floyd, I wish I could be out there, but there's a lot going on.
It's so okay, baby. As soon as we're done with this interview, I'm gonna be
the same situation occurring every year. So it's kind of hard to deal with certain circumstances, and knowing that it's like my generation that will be coming up next as far as being out in the world. So I'm just hoping that hopefully everything that's going on now could change the majority of the stuff that's happening around the nation.
I heard that.
That's real.
All right, Mr. Bullard, go ahead, Superman.
And last, my name is Marvin Bullard. I work with. Name is Marvin Bullard. I work with HEC Upward Bound. I'm also the youth director for Grace Bible Church, where I work with high school all the way to college students, and just trying to help kids just kind of cope with all the frustration, kind of as Jalea is saying, opportunities at school, and also going away to school. A lot of kids struggling right now, the unknown, because some kids aren't even sure if they're going to college. Some kids aren't even sure if they're going away to college for the first time.
Right.
So just trying to ease that gap.
Okay. All righty. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I want us to get to the nitty gritty. So first of all, we kind of already talked, but I just want to put it out there. I just want y'all to explain how y'all feeling, what's going through y'all minds.
I'm exhausted, honestly. Like from everything just going on and just trying to like figure things out and like not really knowing what to do next.
Frustration.
It's just like confused and frustrated. It's just like, am I doing the right thing? What should I be doing? Should I be doing more? And like putting pressure on myself to like do more work than I already doing, and just like not knowing if I'm really being productive, honestly.
That's understandable.
It's kind of how I feel, you know, when this whole George Floyd happened. I mean, first inkling was I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna start protesting too. But then you got to realize I got 6 kids. I can't be out there getting tased and shot at and whatever the case may be, because it's not just protesters out there. There's people out there instigating and starting these terrible things that's happening. And even I'm seeing these police are just wilding out. It's like the scope is already on you and you're still wilding out. And I just can't understand it. And my son, he's 18. He just got his driver's license literally this week. And I am terrified with him driving in the street. I am like 100% have anxiety about it. Sometimes about to have an anxiety attack just thinking about it, you know? So it's just, it's grief. It's grief 100% because your life is no longer the way that it was 2 minutes ago just because of somebody's action.
Right. Mr. Bullard, as a Black man, what's going on in your head?
It's frustration. It's kind of looking at, well, here we go again, situation where we have a situation and we want to protest, but we also want to be responsible. We don't want to tear up. It's frustrating when I see us tearing up our own neighborhoods because not getting back people who we're trying to get back with, we're just tearing up our community.
Right.
Versus kind of like in the past with Ferguson, we had some people who actually ran for office and got involved in the system and made some changes. So I won't protest, but protest with a purpose. If the organization or institution that is hurting you, take your money. I like to hurt people in the pocket, not shoot yourself in the foot, take somebody else to feel the pain. And right now, some of those, we need some leaders. We need leadership to actually direct and guide the protests versus us just being out there. Some of my friends and cousins and family members out there just tearing stuff and throwing stuff at the police. That's not being productive. That's kind of a hornet's nest, and it's going to make a bad situation worse. Because now they've instituted the National Guards in a lot of places. So they're stepping up the security or the police force.
I will say this. There is a good friend of mine who is a pastor. Him and his wife are both pastors in Minneapolis, and they have the church and they've been on the street. And they did a video yesterday saying that the social media and the news people had went crazy saying that it was violence, and they were like, the people that they blamed were the people they was with, and everything they saw was peaceful. It didn't get violent until a tractor trailer drove by and tried to hit them. And like they was taunted, and so I think with me, I kind of have an issue like with people saying we tearing up our cities, because I would tell you flat out, I don't think it's us tearing up our cities.
It's not. It's a lot of white people in these videos.
I think it's undercover police and white supremacists, 100% starting it. It may not be all of them, but they're the ones instigating.
They're leading it.
I think it's undercover people doing it. Like when we talked about Ferguson and a couple of the local businesses in Ferguson got hit, those are people who have been advocate. I don't think those people who go to those places and get services from those places are tearing those properties up. But it's somebody who knows, if I touch this property, I'm going to trigger the community. So it's so like with that, it's so hard because there are community people out there who is doing stuff. Like when I was protesting in St. Louis, there were so many local places that were like, if you're a protester and you get tased, if you're a protester and you need some water, if you need to use the bathroom, if you need a hug, this place
is for you. We got you lunch, we got you water, we got milk. If you have spray on your face, like it's hard to see that. I think we lost Jalea, y'all.
Yeah, looks like it.
So I think it's it's so hard to.
Yeah, hopefully she can join back in. I was texting her. She said she can't see herself.
Okay,
there she goes. We missed you, girl.
Miss you.
All right.
Okay. So
yes, she is.
Next, so Laura has some questions. We kind of just want to know how you have been affected by COVID-19, and honestly, we gonna add it in. We want to ask how you've been affected by George Floyd and stuff like that. But Laura has a series of questions that I'm gonna go ahead and let her ask, and then we could just let the conversation. Staff, I got some other questions for y'all, so y'all hold tight.
All right. So since COVID-19. Could you please kind of give us a picture of how your school life has changed? And did you feel supported academically because of or during those changes or after those changes occurred?
Well, since I'm a senior or was a senior, and I was preparing to go to college and everything, and dealing with the circumstance of previously being homeless, there was a lot more paperwork that we needed to get, and I didn't really know how to get the certain information that I needed. So that was really challenging to deal with by myself, and mentally frustrating. And I really don't handle stress that well, so it was even more of a hassle. And also, since my mother was dealing with some financial issues, and since she didn't work in the years that we needed like tax papers and other information, it wasn't as easy to get those things once the pandemic started, because I wasn't like aware that certain businesses were closing, as far as like the IRS and other like family service office and stuff like that, ahead of time. So it just kind of left us like questioning what's going on at the moment. So there was just a lot to handle, especially for a first time freshman for college. So it's a lot to kind of like get used to, I guess, at this point. Try to like keep pushing myself to keep contacting as many people as I can, and still being left without any answers is still very, very frustrating. So it still hasn't been like completely finished with all the paperwork that I need. So I'm still kind of waiting and still frustrated about the same situation that I've been dealing with for about 2 to 3 months now.
That's definitely very frustrating. Did you, the school that you're getting ready to go to, do they have any resources that can help you go through this process, or they're pretty much leaving it up to you to figure things out?
The school that I'm going to, they've been really helpful.
Okay.
So they have allowed me to like kind of put the other like processes aside and just go ahead and register for classes and apply for housing, which is really helpful, because I was kind of really behind on that. So they just said, just keep working on getting your paperwork for the rest of the summer, and we'll just move on from there. So they've been really helpful with that. And it's kind of like the only school that's been helping me. So that's why I've been mainly focusing on that one school.
Right.
There's been so much, like, too much going on. So I just, I just kind of just went ahead and just made my final decision with that school.
Well, that's frustrating in itself, because these colleges got to know how difficult it is right now to gain the normal information that you would normally gain. That's difficult in itself without a pandemic going on. The hoops you got to jump through to get financial aid and all that jazz when it comes to college. But I can only imagine how much more worse it is with everything being shut down or limited hours. Or like the IRS itself is so hard to get a hold of. And even now in the pandemic is like 30 times worse to try and get a hold of them. So I definitely understand that. Would you say that your worries after the pandemic is different from your worries before the pandemic?
I would say it's about the same.
Okay.
I'm still like questioning a lot of stuff that's going on because I really don't know all the information. It's kind of like I was pushed into just a circumstance and I just had to deal with it kind of. So it's about the same emotions.
All right. And then my final question is, how are you taking care of yourself and or your family? Example would be like balancing work and home. Like, how do you feel you're making sure you're going to be okay during this? You know, nobody else can take care of you the way you can take care of yourself. So what are some things that you're trying to do for yourself to keep yourself, you know, in good standing and healthy?
Well, once like the beginning weeks of the pandemic, me and my family, we were kind of doing like meditation and possibly like playing games, maybe getting outside to try to like get used to being at home 24/7. Like, what else did we do? We like read books together and things like that. We tried to pretend like stuff was normal because the younger kids really didn't understand everything that was going on. So it was kind of like really challenging to like get them to understand like we can't go everywhere. We have to stay at home. So that was really challenging, and they still don't quite understand. So it's still kind of like it's still a hassle.
I understand
so we still have
that.
to get used to it.
And then is there anything that you would like to share just to kind of get off your chest? Because like Lisa was saying, this is kind of a segment in grieving. And I know you're definitely grieving your senior year. Not do you say anything might feeling?
My feelings right now, I just kind of want everyone to stay safe. I really like the different things that I'm seeing as far as like people protesting for their rights and stuff like that. I just don't quite like the part when stuff gets violent or when agitators are making things more violent. So it's kind of like hard to see that part because people are really wanting just stuff to change. They don't really want to destroy stuff around them. But if that's the thing that they have to do to get people to start noticing what's going on in the world, then they have to do what they have to do. So it's kind of, it's hard to see everything that's going on. So I just I really want to, like I said, put myself out there and go and speak up for myself because now that I'm old enough to register to vote, I still have a voice in a certain way, even if I can't go out and protest.
Definitely.
So, yeah, still gonna do everything that I possibly can to make sure that the years where I'm an adult, things are different.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I appreciate you giving that feedback, Jalea. I definitely do. We need to hear feedback from our young people. You know, stay safe. Me, I'm a frontliner. So as soon as we done with this interview, I'm finna head to Times Square and be outside. That's just I'm about that life. You know what I'm saying? I do it for my kids. I do it like y'all are my kids. So that, you know, my sister, she has 6 kids. Those are my kids too. So I don't play about them. You know. And also too, like I'm a social worker. So outside of just being a woman, I'm also a Puerto Rican woman and I'm also a social worker. And all of those correlate. So I definitely need to hear stuff like that because that fuels my fire. So, you know, I'm proud of you. And we are here if you need any help with the school. You know, if you need me to call up to the school, girl, you let me know. Okay. You let me know. We could do a 3-way. Okay. Miss Lucas. I'm going off script. Yeah, I have a whole thing right here. And I'm going off script. Miss Lucas, what is it like to be a Black woman and a Black woman who is a social worker and a Black woman who's a Black social worker who works in St. Louis?
In the city.
In the city.
I don't know how to answer that, but I guess I'm going to answer it in a way that makes sense to me. I feel like as though since I am a Black woman working in St. Louis, in the city, I feel like I always have to go above and beyond and work beyond the scope of the work that's expected of me, because the bar is set so low for Black women in general. And I feel like that's why I pride myself on being such a hard worker, because I feel like they're already saying bad things about Black women and giving us a bad rep. And assuming these things is not necessarily true, but like you hear the stereotypes and you know it's not true, you know, is people's own assumptions. And it's just like I can't really fight them. So my way of like combating that is just being a hard worker and just like going above and beyond. And it's like, it's exhausting to be like that every day, to put on a good face, to be nice, to be pleasant, to be professional. Like, it's exhausting as hell to be a Black woman, and people do not understand that, because they only get to see the nice, pretty parts of you. You don't know that come home, I'm exhausted, I'm crying about my long day, I'm crying about something somebody said, the microaggressions. Like, you see it, you hear it, and it's like you face it, but you're not able to talk about it because then you become the aggressor. And, or you're upset, you're just an angry Black woman. Like, and it's like we don't ever have the space to like be our true and genuine selves. So therefore, like, I'm always just trying to be a good Black woman.
Wow.
So that's
a lot of pressure.
That, yeah.
Ooh, that ringing tears. Ooh, all right. The pollen in the room. Yes.
Yeah.
No, listen, we need to hear that. We need to hear that, because you know, we always want to be cute, but we don't never want to hit the ground running. You know, and when I say we, I'm talking about us whiter skinned folks. I'm talking about us who, you know, it don't bother me, but we need to hear that perspective, because it does bother us. It does have everything to do with us. White silence is violence, period. And so we need to hear that. We need to hear that side that you experience, because Miss Lucas, I ain't never gonna experience that. And that's just me being honest. I will never have to experience that type of pressure. But I know you do. And I know if I see, you can ask Mr. Bullard, when I used to work with Mr. Bullard, I see some stuff, I'd be like, well, wait a minute. Do I need to use my white skin to make a statement right now? Because, listen, again, I'm about that life. I am about that life. It does not bother me. So, I just want. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Bullard.
He just smiling.
I think his computer might be lagging though, because
okay,
I know sometimes he has like connection issues.
Okay, when you come back on, Mr. Bullard, we'll let you talk.
Filters.
Okay.
My filter is a little bit more off than actually.
Oh no, he's
cutting in.
Frustrated because
Miss. Can I chat him?
You can't hear me?
No.
Let me refresh.
From like 30 minutes ago.
You hear me?
Barely.
Okay, I'll just talk. Uh-oh. I may have to try to log in through my phone. Let me try to do that.
Okay. All right. Log back out. I'll let you back in.
A second.
Okay.
So, Miss Lucas, what do you do at the end of the day when you go home and it's one of those days where you're stressed out?
I'm going to log in through my phone.
So when it's a long day and like I've been stressed out, I'm like grateful to have like a partner who's like really thoughtful, also a Black woman who like gets where I'm coming from, and she's also a native of St. Louis, so like she gets the ins and outs from St. Louis, especially since I'm from like New Jersey. A lot of stuff just be like, really, like people really be on that here, and it's just like it's almost like a cultural shock when I first got here, and I still be seeing like the differences in policies and all those different things, but being able to like come home to somebody who gets it, who understands me and allows me to like be vulnerable and like creates the space for me to be able to be a crybaby and and bitch and moan about whatever it is that I'm feeling, is usually that, and we just take time out to talk about work, and then we talk about things that make us happy and talk about things that we want to do and talk about our future. It's like we give space to talk about the nonsense, and then we talk about what we're going to do moving forward and like what it's going to look like for us, for our kids, and how we're going to overcome things in a way. And like just talking about it really does a lot for me, honestly. Being able to have that space to just talk about it, whether I want to cry, scream, or whatever, just having the space to do that is important, and it helps.
Thank you. Can you? All right.
I'm
Mr.
back.
Bullard,
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Is
Go
that
ahead.
better? I'm on my phone now.
All right.
I was just saying, I'm just frustrated right now with everything that's going on with the COVID-19, with dealing with our seniors, all the things that they're being neglected and not being given. So even though I'm broke, it's like I'm trying to scrap stuff together just to kind of bless them with whatever I can get to give to them. Miss KaCheena, Mr. Mayhem have given a lot so that we can just bless a few of the seniors with little bags of goodies, and I've dropped off food whenever I could, but it's just frustrating to see a lot of the stress and struggles that they're going to try to make that transition from high school to college.
Right.
And especially Jalea with she's jumping through hoops and red tape and all kinds of other mess, and it's just the beginning.
Right.
And it's really difficult for her and for a lot of our students.
Right. To both my staff members, is there any advice for community workers or just people in the same positions as you that you would want to give out? Like, and maybe not advice, maybe you just got to get something off your chest. I don't know. You two are community members, despite what organization or what you're community members, and you're sacrificing your life for other people and ultimately for other people's kids. So what would you say to other people who are going through the same thing that you're going through, or maybe actually that too, but what you gonna say to people who don't have no clue about the type of work that you do and they don't get it because they don't want to get it?
I don't know. I mean, the one thing I want to say, though, the importance of collaborating and working together, because together we can do so much more. And I'm grateful for like people like Mr. Bullard and Mr. Mayhem and you, Lisa, and like also your organization, and just being able to like come together and like draw up solutions versus us like working by ourselves to figure it out, but having like a collective come together and figuring out ways that we can help each other, because it's like one person can't do it all. You gotta work together.
Right.
We have to collaborate, and I feel like collaboration.
Hold on, Ms. Lucas, Mr. Bullard. Did you hear what Ms. Lucas just said?
Yes, we've been kind of like the Avengers. We've been uniting together.
No, I want you to hear the last sentence where she said, "Now one person can do it all." Did you hear that part?
Yes, I heard all that. My connection is clear on my phone. I'm trying to work together
because we want you to hear that.
Self-care.
We've been working well together. I feel
heard,
like you've been doing better with the self-care.
Yeah, I'm trying to do self-care, but it's rough. It's rough, and kind of telling people if your heart's not in it, this job is not for people whose heart is not in it.
Exactly.
You have to, because it's not for the pay, as we know it. We don't get paid anything. But the expectation is they expect a lot and don't want to pay anything.
Right.
So your heart really has to be in it for the job that you're doing, because that's the real reward, is helping other people.
You know, and even though I don't work for organization right now, all the work that I'm doing right now, I'm not getting a dime. I'm not even getting paid. I don't have no paycheck coming to me. Everything that I've done for the community has came out of my pocket, but I don't have an income right now. So it really has to be in your heart, and it really has to be a desire. And that's why, Jalea, that's why I'm always trying to tell y'all, we don't just pour into you, y'all pour into us. Because if I don't hear from y'all, there ain't no gas in my tank. If I don't see stuff, there's no, and that's not to put pressure on you, but I just hope that our young people really understand that when I'm checking on y'all, when I'm trying to do stuff for y'all, when I'm asking for y'all cash apps and stuff, it's not because Miss Nolan is just the nicest person in the world. Miss Nolan don't got no money, but I have a desire to see people succeed. And just like with my sister's kids, like she said, my nephew started driving my car yesterday in St. Louis, Missouri. And what did I do? Give him some money for oil change because I want him to be safe in all aspects. And two, and then on top of giving him the money, I got on FaceTime. I said, let me tell you something. When you get in that car, you put your phone in the cup holder and you put your wallet in the cup holder. So if you get pulled over, you ain't looking or searching for anything. You put your hands on the steering wheel, you crack the window and you say, officer, my hands are on the wheel. You can grab my ID from the cup holder. I am not moving because you ain't going to shoot me.
We've actually taught all the kids to put their hands outside the window. Just go ahead and put your hands outside the window. We want him, and I think he bought one, to get one of those clips that you put on the dashboard so he can have his phone. So the minute he gets pulled over, he starts recording. And Jalea, same thing for you. The minute you get pulled over, you hit record. You put your hands out that window and you say, officer, I'm recording you. And if he wants you to turn it off, well, you could turn it off, officer, but I'm not turning it off. This way they can see he's the one who turned it off. So if anything happens, it's more proof that it was him and not you. Right. So we have been drilling that into our boys, but they can do everything right and still not survive. Exactly. And that's the scary part.
Exactly. They're a target. They are a target. The live is getting a little long, so I don't want to cut the conversation short. We will be back with other.
We should do a part 2.
Yes, we will have we'll probably have a part 2, 3, 4, 5, you know.
Jaleel, get my information from Lisa, and if you need any help with searching anything in St. Louis, you know, I'm here too, so I can help you. I'm physically in St. Louis, so if you need help with the college stuff, getting paperwork, whatever, just get my information from Lisa.
Yeah. So before we leave, I just got some feedback that I want to share with y'all as a community social worker, as a person running her own nonprofit, as a person who just loves y'all. I just want to give a couple things and then I'm gonna let y'all go have a good day. One, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your participation. The perspective from real life people speaks volumes, and I want to personally thank you for your vulnerability, openness, and honesty. So from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I'm so happy that you guys did this with me. 2, Jalea, I know right now things look so different for you, but hear me when I say this. No one, not even the adults in your life, were ever prepared for this. We are learning with you. Yeah. We never thought that we would be on lockdown and not even be able to be on lockdown safely. We were never prepared for this. So if you see adults scared, it's because we are scared. But us adults want to share that with you and want you to know that you are not alone. We are here for you in every aspect. We discuss things like this, but for whatever reason, we believe it will never happen to us. So there's a lot of times where we see media and we like, oh yeah, this could happen, but we don't ever have the mindset of it will happen to us.
Right.
Frustration, anger, fear, confusion, fatigue are okay. It's actually okay to feel each and every one of those things. And I want you as a young person to embrace that. If you are angry right now, if you are hurt right now, if you upset that you missed your prom, baby girl, it's okay. You could call me and cuss me out. I ain't gonna take it personal. If you upset because you do have brothers,
I'm gonna take it personal.
You upset because you do have brothers, and your brothers or even your sisters could be the next hashtag. That's okay to feel that way. And I want you to know that all of that is valid and you're allowed to feel that way. Okay. So I want you to know I'm giving you permission. Not that I had to, but just in case, I'm telling you, it is okay. I know your senior year was ripped from you and you're entering a new era. Your generation is going to be the first generation to go to college after a pandemic, after being locked down, after being quarantined. I just want you to know that we will celebrate you in any way we can, whatever that looks like. We don't know what college is going to look like in 2 months. We have no idea. Mm-hmm. But just because you was ripped from it doesn't mean you are not successful. And it doesn't mean that what you're going through is not important. It's very important. And I want you to remember that. You and your generation are setting the tone for how the education system could look from this point on. And yes. I want y'all to remember that. And since you mentioned voting and being 18, make sure y'all get out there and y'all vote, not just for your presidential, but for your local.
Yes.
Get your friends to go with you.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the district. I almost said it. But the district that you're in, you can vote those leaders in. Mm-hmm. And I want you and all your friends to get out there and vote for those leaders to be in your district. Because a lot of times what happens is we don't know that we can vote for those leaders in that district. And we can. There's always 6 to 8 spots where you can either write those names in or they'll have the names. Vote for them. And that's what I encourage you to do. Yes, you may not be able to go protest, but we have elections coming up. And then I encourage you to get registered and to do that. Staff, my staff, it's hard right now. It's so hard.
Yes,
but
it
I encourage you to practice resting. I encourage you to practice self-care. With the positions that we are in, we often forget that we're still human. Okay? But
I'm Superman, though.
Rest, but also know that the work that you're doing is important. You may not be able to protest, but y'all are working for nonprofits. Y'all working in underrepresented neighborhoods. Mr. Bullard, I know for a fact you're doing it for work and for church. Miss Lucas, I know how hard you go for your kids. Laura, I know you got 6 babies, and I know you got all these businesses and your dog. I get it. And I want y'all to keep going for it. But I really, really, really want y'all to remember to rest and then get back up and go again. Because we need y'all as a society. We need y'all, but we also need y'all to take care of yourselves. So Healing She Got Faith is all about loving you the way we love ourselves. We're all about handling our grief, whatever capacity that is. But we also want y'all to know y'all have a voice. So at Healing She Got Faith, y'all are all welcome to come back. We will have a part 2, part 3, 4, 5, part 100. I don't care which one. You always have a place here. You always have a safe space here. So anything I can do for y'all, let me know. I look forward to our next couple interviews. So with that being said, we could all say bye and we will catch each other later.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice
talking to you
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Take care.